In the strategy room tonight, remarks by one of John McCain's key advisors have McCain in the hot seat. Former Texas Senator Phil Gramm calling our country a, quote, nation of whiners and suggesting the U.S. is in, again, quote, a mental recession. Joining me in the strategy room, David Serrato. He's a columnist and author of the best-selling book, The Uprising, an unauthorized tour of the populist revolt scaring Wall Street and Washington. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Today we have this statement from Phil Gramm and calling us whiners. Are we?
Well, I think it's an absurd statement, and we're not whiners. We have major economic problems in this country. We have stagnating wages. We have a mortgage crisis. We have a job outsourcing problem. We have trade deals that are helping hurt or create all these problems. What you see here, you have an insight into the psychology of the Republican Party, that it's people's fault and not the government's fault.
All right, let's listen to exactly what was said by John McCain about this, and then also I think we have a reaction from Senator Obama.
I don't agree with Senator Gramm. I believe that the person here in Michigan that just lost his job isn't suffering from a mental recession.
This economic downturn is not in your head. When people are out there losing their homes and property values are declining, that's not a figment of your imagination. And it isn't whining to ask government to step in and give families some relief.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate. Do we need that relief, or do we need to start being responsible?
Well, I think we need the relief. I think we have a government that has been part of the problem.
But doesn't it continue to be? Because when you take a look at, like, the mortgage bailout, for instance, you see lobbyists and the very lawmakers on Washington that are putting this into action, the ones who benefit from it, and then kind of a little trickles down to the regular folk. But it seems that the big guys always get helped first.
That's exactly right. And we have a government that has tried to use crises like this to enrich big money interests. We had that when we had a Republican Congress. We have a little bit of that with the Democratic Congress. I think Barack Obama, running as an outsider, is absolutely right when he says the problem really is Washington. The problem is that Washington has contributed to, in fact, exacerbated these crises.
Kate Obenchain is also joining us. She's the former head of the Virginia Republican Party. Kate, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Your reaction to Phil Gramm's statement. And Phil Gramm, by the way, he is known for having a pretty good head when it comes to economics, along with his wife. And he makes this very strong statement, knowing that while he wasn't technically speaking for John McCain, he is one of the key advisors.
Yes, he is one of the key, one of his unofficial advisors,
yeah,
albeit. And Phil Gramm has he has a reputation for speaking his mind, as Senator McCain does, but he has his own opinions and his own analysis. I think that John McCain, though, has been very clear in saying that he sympathizes and understands that Americans are going through serious economic struggles, particularly hardworking Americans who are, just making it through, who $4 a gallon of gas is very painful. That's why he's aggressively pursuing options for bringing down those gas prices, as opposed to Barack Obama, who doesn't have any suggestions.
It seems to me, and I may be completely wrong, but I get the gut feeling that they both of them keep on talking about how bad it is and how they need to change things.
Yeah.
And nobody ever seems to tell me exactly what they'll do. I'm going to bring down taxes, or I'm going to bring down, take away corporate taxes, or loopholes, or things. Well, but they don't really tell me the real stuff.
Let me just say that I think part of the problem is that you have people like Phil Gramm who are investment bankers advising presidential candidates like John McCain. John McCain is so lobbied up.
The investment banking industry is a key part of our economy, isn't it?
But the point is that you've got these candidates. You've got a candidate like John McCain so surrounded by corporate lobbyists that he's got people around him saying that the problem is the American people. The problem is the country, when in fact the problem is a corrupt political system, that allows lobbyists to surround presidential candidates and propose policies that create more of a problem.
Kate?
We could go through who's surrounding Barack Obama if we want to right now, but I think the real point that Edie was asking is, what are the specific solutions? And John McCain has talked about specific solutions. Lower and keep continuing President Bush's tax cuts. If you increase those taxes, hang on a second. If you increase those taxes right now, that will be devastating to the American public. If you will, McCain has talked about lowering the corporate tax rate. That will stimulate the economy. That's a very specific proposal that he has come out with that will actually. We'll continue to argue cutting taxes. It's a good thing for the American people. You bet. We'll take you on that
legacy. I hope the Republican Party continues to argue that George Bush's legacy is the legacy that's going to fix the economy.
Well, I don't know. Wasn't it Barack Obama who said that we needed another stimulus package? Well, just like the one that George Bush put into play?
You've heard here the ideology. The ideology is more of the same. More George Bush policies, more tax cuts.
I'm hearing that from both sides. Barack Obama and John McCain have said it.
Barack Obama is saying something radically different. Barack Obama is saying we need to make the tax system work for regular people. We need to make the government work for regular people. The Republican Party, as we just heard, is saying we need more of the Bush economic policies.
Okay. I beg your pardon, I never said that. Y'all are talking about raising the taxes on small businesses.
John McCain
I'm sorry. We could go on for a half hour or more. Yes. I'd like to, but we can't. Kate Obenshain and David Sirota, thank you very much. His book is called The